Hey guys, happy Saturday to everybody. I'm back with a video that I find I really wanted to make. I am going to try my best because this is a really good question that was left as a comment. I won't mention any names because I know people don't necessarily want to be singled out. It was a wonderful question that when I was explaining that I don't even, it's not my most recent video. It's a much older video about, silicone's not all created equal. Strangely not on the current most current video I did. I think that my older videos pop up in people's feeds, and that's where a lot of great comments come from. I don't know whether it's you guys going back and watching, or new stumbled upon the channel, or someone that is started watching my channel and older videos, because a lot of times the old popular videos will pop up on the feed or suggested list. So anyways, this person had commented that they don't quite understand what I mean by the fine details. How did they word it? Silicones are all painted with layers. Every doll that I've seen has some veining. To me, it all looks the same. And I can understand that. I can appreciate someone saying that because pictures and video don't show everything. You guys usually see Monroe, and you see her and you see kind of a faraway view from her, right? I don't do extreme close-ups. I truly, I try to do the best lighting. I'm actually in my nursery and it's horrible lighting, but I have my ring light on. So that's why I'm going to try to hopefully capture what I want to show you. And it's rainy and awful here, and we've entered the season of no sun for the next how many months, basically. So I've got my ring light on. I'm hoping it'll be illuminated enough, which, let's see if we can turn it up. It's up as far as it goes. All right, so that's as bright as we're gonna get on this really nasty rainy day. From this angle, it's not the best quality, but what I don't really care about how she looks from far away. What I'm looking for is I want to show you some details on her face. And she's got them all over her body. You can kind of see the blue undertones, and even there's green undertones, yellow undertones, different areas of her I call it skin, her silicone. And what I want to explain is that there are very few super highly talented silicone painters, in my opinion. And it may not be a popular opinion, but I've experienced some of the very top artists' work. And I have yet to see another artist with the same skill level of painting as Claire is with silicone. Claire is really masterful, and unless you see her work like in person, you won't necessarily understand what we're talking about. So that's why I'm going to try to capture it here. I'm going to do my best, guys, because it's not all the same. Yes, there are a lot of, from afar, you would think are, really nicely painted silicone dolls. But when you get up close, when you are in person in natural or bright, artificial light is one of the most unforgiving types of lightings that pull out some of the worst painting techniques. I've seen it over the years. This room, as hard as it is to video in, it actually is, it's been very good at, I see everything in this room, sadly, because some dolls I thought I loved, in artificial light, turned out to be very roughly painted, lacking detail, or the coloring was just way off. This room brings it out. It really does. It's the most unforgiving room in the house, honestly. So it's kind of like the tester, right? It's like going to be the most harsh. Like even looking at her through my video, through my phone, it looks like she's very pink, and that's fine. She's not that pink. She is painted with a lot of pink tones though, but she has a lot of other color in the depth of her painting that is so hard to capture unless I have perfect lighting, which honestly never happens. It's rare. That's why I started, really doing videos out in my living room, because I have the most natural light out there, because I have, literally floor to ceiling windows on 2 of the 4 walls, well, 2 of the 3 walls, because it's an open concept. But ultimately, I'm going to try to get some up close and personal. One of the things that Claire started doing recently in her last couple of editions is doing the textured painting as well. I don't know if it's the paint, the matting. I don't think it's the silicone. It could be, but I don't know, because Claire will not share that with any of us. It's, it's her trademark thing that she's, it's her technique. It's proprietary. She doesn't want it out there, and I don't blame her, because it's freaking awesome. But it's also what helps give even more depth to the silicone, to make it more like skin. That's why I call it skin, because it truly feels like skin to me. It looks like skin, so it's hard not to call it skin. That's why you guys might laugh, but it's different to me. It's better than just silicone, So that's why you hear me referring to it as skin a lot of times. I don't even realize I'm doing it. But anyways, you can see the veining on her hands, her forehead, around her temples of her head. She's got them all over. Like, she's got so much depth. This baby, I can't begin to tell you the amount of depth of color and detail that this baby actually has. Like no other even silicone doll by Claire. Like, she's the best that I have had by Claire. And they've all been beautiful. They've all been great. There's just something about the lifelikeness of this particular baby that just kills me. Like the veining on her hands and feet, the coloring on the bottoms of her feet. Like those are techniques that not all artists are able to do well. The type of purpley bluish undertones here, as well as there's some yellow here. It's freaking amazing to me. Like, she gets it right. She knows what she's doing. She's painting with purpose. Like, she's placing these details on her babies. And this is probably why it takes her so long to do a completed doll. She doesn't put out a lot of edition dolls, because she puts a lot of heart and her soul into these dolls, and it takes a long time to achieve what she does achieve with the finished product. And I know that she's a perfectionist. I know that when she's unhappy with a doll, she won't put it out, which I have a lot of respect for. But let's get to it. So the first thing I want to show you is up close. Let's see if I can get, you guys are going to get all sorts of up close and personal with Monroe. Okay, so what I want to show you and what I want you to see is that on her cheek, that's what I'm focusing on here. And it's all over her face, but this is a good angle where the light catches it, so you can actually see the texturing. That is like all over, it's all across her top lip, but yet it's not in all places. So where it's smoother, it's the natural place where it would be smoother, but on her face especially, there's just perfect detail to, hi, sweet girl. She's so beautiful, even like extremely up close and personal. Right down to her forehead. Like, look at the depth of color. Like, there's a little bit of blotchiness, but there's not a ton of mottling. But there's texture there throughout her whole head, her face. It's everywhere. But it's done in such a delicate manner that it just adds realism, pure realism. Like, even like around her lips, this is one of the things these are the things I pick up on, I notice, is like where it is lighter, where it would be lighter and like the top of her lip, it's lighter and then it shades to darker. Like it's just amazing to me, the color, the perfection of placement of color that she's able to do with her dolls. Not all artists can achieve that. They just look more blushed, or they haven't gotten to the level that Claire has gotten. Like, she is a master artist. She's not labeled as a master artist, but I will label her a master artist. I think the amount of skill that she has is the best. It really, really is. And I love a lot of other artists out there, but I truly think that Claire's painting techniques are, far beyond anybody else's doing silicone right now. And that doesn't mean it won't change. Others are getting there, but like, this is a level that I don't see achieved by other artists. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Like the coloring around her knuckles, on the insides of her hands, like the detail is phenomenal. But here's what I want you to really see. And this is done intentionally. So we talk about veining, right? Look at that. Those are capillaries, and those are throughout her body, in the places where we would see that. Like, look, the amount of colors needed to achieve this type of coloring is crazy amounts. There are so many colors being used. It's just, she's beautiful. Like, I look at her and it's skin. Like, all of these little capillaries. Oh, she's got something on her. Sorry, had to get it off. That's intentional. You see that there's also bluish tints here. There are, you can see yellowy, even green. And an artist commented, look at all that. That is intentional detail, guys. And this is all over her body. I'm showing you one example of, but her body is like, when we look at our skin, we have capillaries all over it. Throughout our bodies, little imperfections, I guess, if you will. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And just the attention to the detail, and there's some veining, some up close veining. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm in love with how this baby is painted. And these are a little bit more pronounced, but I'm fine with it being pronounced. Like, if I take her into natural lighting, the veining is much more subtle looking. But like I said, in artificial light, paint imperfections and they're brought out, like they're heightened in here, right? That's the point of me bringing her under this light to show you. But it's more subtle when you put her out, like in my living room. It's a more subtle detail. But I wanted it extreme because I wanted you guys to see what I'm seeing. And I think you'll be able to. So the point of me saying all of this is to answer the question, of course. But also so it helps collectors start noticing and looking for those fine details in their dolls when they receive them. Look at them closely. Look at them under artificial light. That is really the best way to see how well an artist's techniques are, especially, it's with silicone, but it's with any doll, any medium. You will see better the imperfections in artificial light as well as outside in natural light, clear daylight, but not direct sun, if that makes sense. The test of realism really comes from the harshest lighting. That's how you know a doll kind of they pass that test of realism, at least for me, is seeing the worst, in the worst lighting that brings out the worst if there are imperfections. And every doll has imperfections, we just choose what we like and can live with. There's no perfect doll out there because they're imperfect. They're beautifully, perfectly imperfect. How's that for a tongue twister, you guys? And to me, I'm way past collecting a doll that doesn't have this level of realism. And that's also why I don't seek out and continue to buy doll after doll after doll. There is a level of perfection and expectations as a collector that I now have that I can't turn back from, I guess you could say, because I've just grown and just continue to move forward and bought nicer, bought better quality, and more realism came with that. So it's hard once you've been kind of spoiled by a doll of this caliber. Claire has spoiled me for anything less than this level of artistry. That's really what it boils down to. And not everybody can have that immediately. It took me many, 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 many moons to get to this doll. Many years. I enjoyed every doll I had along the way, but this is also why you don't see me bringing home doll after doll, because I've gotten to the level of artistry that I won't settle for anything less than that at this point. I can't, because my eye will catch the imperfections or the not quite the realism that I want. Like, it has to have a level of realism when someone comes and looks at the doll in person and thinks it's real. I've been able to do that with Monroe. Even though she doesn't blink, she freaks out the people that I have shared her with. It's wonderful. It's freaking cool. And that's my goal. That is truly the goal of any doll I'm willing to have in my collection long term. But this baby is just gorgeous. I hope this answers the question. I hope this has made it able to be seen what I see in person that you don't see, that comes across naturally in pretty much any other video unless I'm focused on it. But that's the level of painting and the layers and the depth and the hours and hours and hours that go into creating the realism. And I know Claire puts so many hours into her dolls to achieve it. And I applaud her because the attention to detail is there. I see it. Her dolls are made with love, and I feel that comes through in the finished product. So there she is, guys. Even on this rainy day, I hope you've been able to see what I wanted to point out to you. Hopefully it kind of clicks and you see it and it makes sense to you. It's a journey. It truly is a journey. And maybe you're the collector that doesn't want all that detail, and that's okay too. There are other types of collectors out there that don't love the live realism, the ultra realism, and they like more of a peaches and cream, soft, kind of perfect baby without the imperfections. I know many collectors like that, and that's okay too. But my goal seeks out ultra realistic realism. It's got to be that for me. And this baby definitely has it. And you'll see she's back in her Jamie K. I'm going to put her footed leggings on after I finish the video because it's getting long. Because it's just cold and rainy here and she just needs to be in cuddly soft clothes. So there it is, guys. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this answers the question for the viewer that asked it. I will continue to respond to questions in video because I really like explaining and making sure someone gets an explanation. It's just easier than just commenting back. So yeah, hopefully you guys find this helpful and you guys bring the best questions. So thank you for that. But Monroe wishes everybody a happy Saturday. And we will see you all soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.